Hello and welcome to Some of My Friends Read Comics. We got Vince.
Her bullet wound makes her vulnerable, and I exploit it.
We've got Chris.
Hush.
Oh, sorry. What are you talking about?
Hey, little baby, don't say a word.
Oh, I'm sorry. And I'm Kia. Hi, welcome to the show. We're finishing Hush today. Good quote, Chris. Really captured it all. We are finishing it up. We read the first 6 issues last time. We're reading the next 6 this time. And then we're also continuing up our long read of Thunderbolts here. We're on number 12. Finishing the first 12. What's going to happen afterwards? We'll talk about that. Yeah, let's get back into Hush. If you're just joining us here, you should really just go back and listen to the last episode, or you could read the first 6 issues of Hush yourself. But I don't recommend that.
It'd probably take about the same amount of time.
It probably would take about the same amount. You could just read them while you listen to us and see what kind of wins out. But so I guess, do we have to recap the first half? Tommy Elliott is back. You all know Tommy Elliott, right?
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne's best friend as a kid, right? Come on.
Never previously been mentioned?
Never previously mentioned. Was that a whipping sound?
It sure sounded like
Dog.
Oh, I see. It was like a real... That was a good sound effect.
Yeah.
We need more sound effects on this show.
Okay, we'll add that for the next 250 episodes. No, so I was looking into this. Bruce Wayne's best friend, who's never ever been childhood friend, who's never ever been mentioned, is back in the picture. Batman fractured his skull and was completely immobile for one whole issue, but he's back at it. He's fine now.
He's fine, yeah. He had a little trouble against Harley Quinn as a result, but I think that's the only effect.
That's the only effect. He was able to fight Superman completely the issue before. He was totally fine then. And every single Batman villain is more powerful or some shit because they're all trying to fuck with him in some way. It's a classic Jeff Loeb Batman story. Jeff Loeb, Jim Lee.
Everyone's here. All your favorites.
I was looking up because we were talking about like Ed Brubaker's Batman run. So I was like, well, what was Ed Brubaker's Batman run? And that was right before this. And apparently Brubaker's first arc also had a childhood previously never mentioned best friend of Bruce Wayne come back and be a villain like less than 2 years before Hush.
Wow.
So, in the Batman book, not detective even. So real original. Good job, guys.
It's good stuff. But yeah, what happened at the end of the first 6 issues? We were basically led to believe that this Tommy Elliott is the supervillain who's pulling all the strings, who's a bandaged man who has no name, but I guess his name is Hush. The 6th issue ends with Batman hearing a gunshot, sees Tommy Elliott dead on the ground, and the Joker is lying over him.
What a twist!
Anything else we need to know? What a twist! Oh, and he kissed Catwoman, and he's kind of in love now. He's
dating Catwoman. Batman is dating Catwoman. Batman knows Catwoman is Selena Kyle. Selena Kyle does not know Bruce Wayne is Batman.
Right.
But Bruce Wayne and Selena Kyle are in the same social circles. So.
Yep. All right. So let's jump into it here. Batman's fighting the Joker in the alley. He's punching him, and Joker's like, "Oh, stop! I'm innocent." But all he can think about is how he, crippled Barbara Gordon. She's kind of stuck being Oracle now. He killed Gordon's wife, killed Jason Todd, killed his best friend Tommy Elliott now, who we only just learned about. Tommy Elliott just saved his life, and so he's extra pissed right now. Just smashing up the Joker's face. Harley comes up behind them to smash Batman with a mallet, and Batman ducks. She hits Joker's arm instead. I thought that was cute. All Batman can do is just remember. He's like not in the moment here. He's tired.
This is bad writing because we're going to spend 5 pages where Batman goes like, he crippled this person. And like, okay, cool. We've established he crippled Barbara Gordon. Okay, cool. When we went through the whole list, and now for the next 10 pages, we're going to go through this same list again, but with different pictures.
Yeah. I do, but like from a writing standpoint, I do guess that it's there to seed the memory of like, oh, remember Jason Todd? He killed Jason Todd too. Can't forget Jason Todd.
But you gotta put like other things around so it's not a complete like obviously you have to put like these other 6 people that are also been injured, but so you still know. But I'm like, we don't have to go through this list twice. I mean, by the time we get done with this list, we're like on page 15 of 22. Like, although I like that Jim Lee is putting like in these weird paintings. As opposed to just like normal comic art. I like it, and I also don't think it fits, but also I'm like, it's okay.
It's fine. So then Batman's going all murder crazy on Joker, and Catwoman wants to stop him. She shows up and she whips Batman's neck. Chris, can we get a sound effect?
Yeah, put it in the sound it made earlier.
Great, put it in post. Catwoman whips her whip around Batman's neck to stop him. She knows she'll regret it. Batman does not want to stop. This is where your quote came from, Vince. He punches her bullet wound and she passes out.
It's a red flag, ladies. If you have a bullet wound and your man punches it to exploit you, it's a red flag.
That's a big red flag. Also, if you don't know what his face looks like before that point, I think that's also a problem.
She doesn't have his face looks like.
That's fair. So he goes after the Joker. He's strangling the Joker, and someone else comes up behind him to stop him. It's Jim Gordon. And he appeals to him as a friend. He's like, "Hey, if you do this, you'll be just as bad as the Joker.
No,
I'll come after you with all the force of the law." Sure. And they walk away, and Joker is still lying bloody on the floor, saying he's innocent. We see the bandaged man on the roof, and he says he is innocent. Get the joke? And he flips a Two-Face coin. Is the bandaged man Two-Face? Okay.
Is it a different bandaged man?
I don't know. How many bandaged? There are multiple bandaged men in this story as well.
I always hate this. Like, you'll be just as bad as him stories. Like, no, you won't. It's fine. They stop this arguing. I think like everybody, like all these people are like cheering for Luigi Mangione. Like I feel like Bruce Wayne killing CEOs and killing supervillains. Smash. Like I feel like he'd be fine. I feel like no one would give a shit.
I mean, I do, half of there is the Jason Todd one, but the other half is like Barbara Gordon and Sarah, what's her name? Essen, Commissioner Gordon's wife, where it's like, okay, well, if he doesn't want to murder the Joker, I guess I shouldn't.
Yeah.
He's got a better reason.
Yeah. I guess so, yeah. Anyways, on to the next issue. Tommy Elliott's funeral is here. We do get flashbacks to them actually being friends. You know how they got to be friends? They both have first and last names that are first names. Bruce Wayne, Tommy Elliott.
Whoa.
Wow.
Sure.
That's why they're friends. We finally got the big friendship scene that we didn't get in the first 6 issues.
Sure.
So that's how they're best friends.
I spent a lot of time thinking this morning, like, did Jeff Loeb know this when he came up with the name Tommy Elliott, that this was going to be a thing? Or did he figure it out later, like, oh, that's clever. Why don't I just put that in, like, 7 issues in? I think it was the latter, right?
I think so. It's possible.
It seems like a really dumb thing to seed, like, oh, this is going to pay off so fucking good. They're not going to see this coming in 7 issues. Like, this is like when they figured out that, like, both Batman and Superman's moms were named Martha. Like, after that.
Yeah,
like, good shit. Oh, my God.
Mm-hmm. So they're back in the Batcave. We learn that Batman has been awake for 56 hours.
That's too long, man.
He's investigating the forensics files from Tommy's murder, which now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah. Wait
a minute. Wait a minute now.
How did this happen? Spoiler, I guess, for the end of the book.
Yeah,
but
spoiler for the end.
Did someone fake this?
Yeah, the spoiler for the end. This was Clayface body, we find out. I'm just saying it now so we don't get confused. But I guess the forensics files don't have anything about that. So he's investigating. Is just that
good.
Yeah. Clayface is great. Nightwing is trying to talk to him, being like, hey, you caught the Joker, man. It's done. He's like, Batman. No, the Joker didn't kill Tommy. This is all connected. I saw what I was meant to see. This involves a manipulation of Killer Croc, Catwoman, Poison Ivy, Harley. Some people as high as Superman and as low as the Joker. It's someone new or someone old trying something new, which, that's a lot of conclusions to jump to, but I guess it's okay.
It really, it really keeps the circle open. It's either someone new or someone old, but trying something new. Okay, so everyone.
Basically everybody.
Yeah. Good job, Batman.
So Oracle comes in over the intercom and tells him the Riddler has just hijacked an armored car with $11 million in cash, and he left a note. What has 4 wheels, costs $11 million, and flies. Okay.
They
drive out.
Carrey riddle. It's not a very good riddle.
It's a Drew Carey riddle?
Jim Carrey riddle.
Jim Carrey.
Yeah, Drew Carey, famous
Drew
riddle.
Carey
yeah, you have to stay under $11 million. Out.
Drew Carey does have the thick frame, glasses frames like the Riddler, though. So.
Oh, do you think Drew Carey would make a good Riddler?
I think, yeah.
I'd watch it.
He does tell riddles like on Price is Right, you know?
Yeah, and now that he's skinny, he has the frame.
Yep.
Wasn't he Toy Man back in the Lois and Clark series way back in the day? I hold on, I'm gonna have to look this up and see, but I really do remember him being Toy Man or something like that. Like he had a.
Now you're making me. Now I'm thinking like, is Craig Ferguson Toy Man? A Toy Man on Lois and Clark. We're all Googling this right now.
I think he might have been some kind of a ghost. I was wrong. Herbie Sachs? Who's Herbie Sachs?
I don't know.
This is important. This is way more important than Hush.
No.
Sherman Helmsley played Toy Man in Lois and Clark.
Well, right.
moving on up.
The point stands that Drew Carey already existed in the DC television universe, I suppose. Is the Dean Cain Lois and Clark connected to?
I don't know if it
Batman
ever
Begins.
I don't think so.
No, and it didn't. I don't think it was in the Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Okay.
It might have been actually now that they did for like the CW shows, but we are far afield because
let's
there's
get back
not
to
much.
The Riddler.
Yeah, especially we have a double-sided Thunderbolts.
Oh my God, you're right. Let's go. So they drive out to take care of it. On the way, Nightwing's asking like, "Hey, are you seeing Catwoman? That's the word on the street." But listen, Bruce. None of my business, but I support it. I just want to say all your relationships have failed because of your secret identity. You should just tell her. And Bruce says, "You're right. It is none of your business." Oh, good one, Batman.
Oh.
So they show up and fight the Riddler. They beat him up. Batman says the answer is a solid gold garbage truck. Oh, I see. Yeah, it's got flies. That makes sense. He wonders why the Riddler was kind of left out of this big scheme. Like, is he somehow undeserving? Was he himself intended to be the riddle? Batman, you need to go to sleep. He inspects the truck, and it has ash that he recognizes from the Lazarus pit. I'm like, Batman, this is ash. Go to sleep for real, man.
This dirt looks like...
This looks like...
Lazarus pit dirt. Or, stay with me, just dirt.
Just dirt. Hush meets up with the Joker then, while Batman meets up with Catwoman in some parallel scenes. And again, I should stop saying Hush. A bandaged man. One of the bandaged men in this story meets up with Joker.
We're meant to believe it's Hush, or
we are, but it's not. Yeah, it really did make this story unnecessarily difficult to follow. Like Two-Face doesn't even need to be in this story.
Yeah, Two-Face is independent of this entire plot. I guess not really, because Tommy Elliott was involved. But Two-Face has gotten surgery to remove his gross face, and
that's why he's wearing bandages. Yeah,
he's going to take it off, and then he'll look great, and Harvey Dent will be fine.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a clue that Jim Lee can't draw two trench coats, so Harvey Dent's wearing the trench coat that Hush has been wearing.
Well, it's a very generic trench coat. Even Batman may have 5 of them.
Yeah, I was to say Bruce Wayne owns multiple of these trench coats. I'm like, why? How many? Why do you need more than one? Why do you need more than 2 trench coats, Bruce Wayne?
Yeah. Well, 1 is really enough for anybody.
I feel like, again, I don't know how to fix it in post. Like, wow, does everybody have the same trench coat? Yes. Yeah, they do. Uh-huh.
He reveals himself to the Joker and says he's get him out of there. He's free on bail. Why is Harvey Dent free on the Joker? Whatever.
Why is the Joker got a bail?
Yeah, I was gonna say, even if the Joker's innocent of this crime, hasn't he committed like a million other crimes? Like, you could probably hold him for those.
He was found with a gun in his hand at the end of part 6. Like, that's got to be violating some parole, right?
Right? Yeah. That they're like, no, he's just free to go.
Nope. He didn't kill this guy that we arrested him for. So
I feel like he
no need for a trial. We know he didn't do it.
Oh my God, we are on my panel of the week though for the other half of this splash page, because Bruce Wayne is taking off his mask, and then you zoom in on this white snow tiger, He's licking his lips right before Batman and Catwoman are about to smooch. It's fucking gross. She's like, "And a bath wouldn't kill you," and this leopard is tiger is just licking his lips like, "Oh man, I'm about to watch it get it on." It's
It is unfortunate because, like, as someone that and we've read the Batman and Robin, right, by Jim Lee and Frank Miller. Did we read it for the show? I think we did.
We brought Nick on board.
Yeah. So, like, this is the Batman I associate with that Jim Lee art style and the beard. I'm like, he looks like the goddamn Batman now. He's like, I should shave.
He was driving around with Dick in the car too.
There is one scene where he says like "damn" and something. It's like, "Do the damn blah blah blah" or whatever. And I was like, "Oh yeah, that's a goddamn Batman. He's getting into character here." All right, is that the end of this issue?
Yep.
They reveal themselves. That's kind of it. Yeah. On to the next one. We go. Okay. Beginning of this issue, Batman hijacks Talia's plane and kidnaps her because I guess he thinks that Ra's al Ghul is behind all this. Possibly, he's like, there's only one person.
He saw that Lazarus pit.
That ash,
and only one person uses Lazarus pits. So I'll find his daughter.
Meanwhile, so remember, Talia's in charge of LexCorp. So President Lex Luthor now gets his vice president running in to tell him that the plane's been hijacked. It was a bat-shaped aircraft. Do you wish to take action? Whoa, puppy. We're not taking action. Not yet. Lex is not.
Let's fucking go. Let's go.
Nope. And then Lex doesn't show up in this series ever again.
He shows up just long enough to confuse you for a bald Harvey Dent in 4 pages.
Oh, does he?
Okay. Yeah, where I'm like, wait, is Lex Luthor now bothering Jim Gordon? But no, that's a different bald dude.
Different bald dude. Batman has some scene with Alfred where he's worried about him. He's like, okay, he's fine. Harvey Dent goes to Jim Gordon's bed at night and says the gun that killed Tommy Elliott is going to get traced back to Jim Gordon because it's his old service pistol. This is all part of a game, and we're 2 of the pieces. Which, again, confuses me. Who is he working for? Why is he working for anyone? Whatever. Now Batman's in North Africa? He got there quick. Comes up to Ra's al Ghul. Ra's al Ghul says, "Where's my daughter?" And they sword fight. Catwoman is holding Talia captive, and Lady Shiva bursts in to free her. They got a little bit of a fight there. Batman and Ra's al Ghul are fighting. Batman stabs Ra's al Ghul straight through the chest. Says, "It's over. Now tell me." But he's got guns pointed at him from Ra's al Ghul's dudes. And he's like, but I got you, Raj. You need medical attention. He's like, well played. All right, I'll tell you. See, what happened is one of the few remaining Lazarus pits I know about was defiled a few months ago. I'm looking for the same person you're looking for. So who in your life would wish to come back from the dead? All right. Lady Shiva beats up Catwoman. Then Talia stands up and just kind of frees herself and knocks out Lady Shiva and says, "Tell my dad to stay out of my life." And she gets out. She doesn't wait for...
Lady Shiva reminded me a lot of Elektra. From Daredevil. And then also Batman killed Ra's al Ghul, although he did die for real, right? He stabbed him on the reverse Elektra death. He stabbed him through the chest, and the sword went through the back, as opposed to. But same angle, same everything. That's repeated throughout all Marvel comics, even though this is DC.
Yeah, a lot of Elektra vibes. We've never read the death of Elektra. I wonder if that'll come.
We've never read that, have we? But yeah, because like Talia runs an organization, kind of like the Hand. I'm like, man, it's a very parallel thought.
Yeah, but Talia does wait for Batman to come back, though. She kind of helps heal Catwoman. And she's also like, hey, this lady's been a positive influence on your life. And she kisses Batman and leaves. All right. I don't know how she knows all that. We get a little interlude in the Batcave. I don't know what issue this was a part of, but he's decided to bring Catwoman to the cave. Alfred's healing him up. She's looking at all the scars on Batman's body and like, oh my God, it's happened a lot.
Red flags.
Yep. Selina and Alfred talk, and Selina's like, hey, I know you probably don't trust me or whatever. And Alfred's like, actually, no, I kind of think you're great. And Batman definitely thinks the world of you, too. You asked how you can help. Just keep doing what you're doing. Just be around. You're a good influence on him. Mm-hmm. Okay. Then on to part 10, The Grave. Catwoman is helping Batman investigate stuff in the cave. Robin, the current Robin, Tim Drake, shows up and attacks Catwoman until Batman's like, hey, I invited her.
It took me a minute to realize this wasn't Damian Wayne.
I thought that too for a sec. He does kind of look very little, you know?
When he jumps in like angry, like with the that's very much like how Damian's drawn now. Which then reminded me that Damian's been Robin for almost like 20 years now.
So I was gonna say, this is before Damian exists, though.
Yeah,
very close though, because I think Damian's like what, 06 maybe, 05.
It's pretty quick after this, yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to think like Damian's been Robin longer than anybody except for Dick Grayson at this point.
Wait, really? Oh my God, that's crazy.
I guess so. Because Tim Drake was only Robin from like 1991 or 2 or whatever.
Yeah, it's like
what is
2000.
What does Tim Drake call himself now?
He was calling himself Red Robin in the New 52, but I've tapped out since then, so I have no idea what he is now.
Something Robin. Right.
Might also be a Robin.
Catwoman leaves because she's like, hey, y'all figure your own shit out or whatever, and Batman's like, thinks she bought it. So they are trying to play a trick immediately on his new girlfriend to make him think that his sidekick hates her. Is that the idea here? Okay. But Batman needs to know if he made the right decision, if he can trust Selina. Then Huntress shows up and fights Catwoman outside or something. Huntress is like under Scarecrow's fear toxin effects. I don't know what Huntress
this part doesn't make any sense at all.
I don't know. Bruce and Tim are on the roof, and Bruce jumps down to join the fight, and Hush is up there and calls Tim a pretender and punches him. Okay. Huntress, affected by Scarecrow. Scarecrow shows up and says, hush, little baby, don't say a word. Okay. They're fighting at a graveyard, and Batman's like, oh my God, nobody should know who's buried here in this graveyard. Why are we at this graveyard? Batman's got Scarecrow in his clutches, and someone throws a batarang at his face to get him to shut up, to get Scarecrow to shut up. And Hush is there, and he takes off the bandages. It's Jason Todd. Oh my God, the second Robin, the dead Robin. He's got Tim Drake in his hands. Hush was Jason Todd all along. I can't believe it.
Sure.
But he made a new Robin costume with an R, and now it's black, but now his size.
Yeah. And he's aged like a few years, but not that much.
He's got like the silver streak in his hair, but I'm kind of like, so if we're to believe that this, obviously, we know this is Clayface. We're going to find that out later.
We're going to find out this is Clayface. Yeah.
But like Jason Todd dressed up in a Robin costume for this reveal? Like, did he know his mask? He knew his mask was going to be ripped off, but he's still going to keep the diamond mask underneath it. He's like, oh, this is going to be so fucking good. And I'm going to have I'm going to have my Robin costume, but I'm going to update it at the same time. Like, the amount of forethought Jason Todd would have had to do here doesn't make sense to me. Really.
But I do kind of like it from the perspective of when they're talking about it afterwards. I don't remember who was talking about it. Like, yeah, they didn't actually know it was Jason Todd. They just knew like it was a number. They didn't know what he looked like really, so they just kind of vaguely made him a little older, and I think just kind of made him look like Nightwing, because that would trick Batman enough into being like, oh yeah, that's what older Robins look like. They look like Nightwings.
That's why I loved the Gotham Central Dead Robin book. At least the premise is like, look, there's a kid that's dead in a Robin costume found. Like, we know at least one Robin has died, and there's at least 3 Robins. How many have there been? Who the fuck knows? They all have black hair. This one could be real Robin and might not be. We honestly don't know. So outside looking in, I guess that all makes sense cleverly. But I think if I was on the Newsarama forums in 2002, I'd be like, this doesn't make any fucking sense. This is so stupid.
I mean, okay, I want to say that aspect of it, while clever, the whole thing doesn't make any fucking sense.
No. Why isn't he the same age he was when he died?
Well, because maybe they also don't know how Lazarus pits work.
Yeah. Look, this is all just Clayface guessing here. All right, this is all Clayface guessing.
To what end?
Well, because he's being paid to mess with.
But we're also jumping. Hold on. I also want to see before we get to that Clayface reveal. So the Jason Todd reveal. Let's just sit on that here for a minute, though. So there's a lot of bullshit talking here. Jason's like, oh, I was right in front of you the whole time. Just like the purloined letter, Edgar Allan Poe's first detective story. Someone cut your bat line. And Batman's like, oh, it was a stolen batarang that cut the line. And it was by design that I fell in Crime Alley where I first met Jason stealing that bat tire. That's the same tire that blew out while I was chasing Killer Croc. How did I not see this? It was so obvious. Yeah, good shit.
Sure.
So later, Oracle, then he melts into clay, and okay, cool.
Big fight.
Yeah, so we're in part 11 right now, right? And
part 11. So then Oracle later asks, what made Batman, Bruce? What made you think of Tommy Elliott when you Morse coded it earlier? And he's like, well, he's the best surgeon in the country. Okay.
My childhood best friend, obviously.
Yeah. Oracle was like looking into this electronic relay that he found hidden under his computer, and it's like a super work of art. She thinks she knows who made it. And look what this thing can do. It has a way to close the Gotham Bridge until 6 a.m. Okay. So he goes to meet someone on the bridge, and it's Harold. Who I guess is some mute guy who Batman kind of took pity on and took him in, and he lived in the Batcave and worked on computers for a while.
Yeah, we saw him whenever we did Nightfall. Like, he was there. He doesn't talk because he's mute, but he's just a character in the Batman orbit.
But he somehow found a way to learn to talk. That's what the bad guys gave him. That's what he sold his soul for, I guess. And Batman's like, oh, I can forgive you. Who approached you? He goes, it was, and then blam, blam, he's shot dead. Hush did it. Oh my God, Hush is here. The real Hush, not a clay face, not a Two-Face, not an any face. It's a bandage face.
A third person established with bandages in their face, or maybe not. It could be. I think this is Harvey Dent, right?
Is this Harvey Dent? All right, let's keep going. I don't remember. Part 12.
Last part.
Batman and Hush are fighting. Hush has guns. Hush keeps quoting Aristotle, and Batman notices. He's like, which of my enemies would quote Aristotle? He's thinking about Harold's death. He's thinking about Harold's betrayal. He's thinking about Catwoman. He's like, oh, this guy's tough. I got to stay focused. He's like a marksman. Is this like Deadshot, maybe? And then Hush reveals, we're on this bridge on purpose, which... Did Hush choose the bridge? I guess the program that they put on there could only control this bridge, so he knew they were going to come here? I don't know. But this is the bridge where Tommy Elliott's parents got in a crash. So it is Tommy Elliott. And Tommy reveals he's not mad that Bruce Wayne's dad couldn't save his life. He's mad because he saved his mom's life. Tommy Elliott cut their brake lines when he was a kid because he was always evil.
Isn't it impressive how there's been 3 big reveals and each one has been worse than the last?
They're very just, it's reveal after reveal. And, oh, my goodness.
I liked this one.
That he was always evil?
Yes, I did. I was like, because I'm like, that is stupid. Why are you so mad at me for like you made a promise and you broke the promise. My dad died. I'm like, that's fucking stupid. And then the book is later like, yeah, that is stupid. I wanted my mother to die. I wanted to be an orphan. I wanted their money. You lucky bastard. Your parents both died. You got their money immediately. I had to wait my mother die of cancer. I'm like, this is good shit. This is what I'm here for. I'm not. It's terrible, obviously.
It is. It is. It does have that effect of being so stupid that it's funny and entertaining. Yeah. In a way, you know what I mean? So I don't totally.
It's very melodramatic, and I was here for it. And this made the most sense to me out of any of these things.
Okay. Yeah. It's the only real one, right? This was apparently the real Tommy.
Mm-hmm. Did he fake did Clayface pretended to be Tommy at the end of part 6 and get shot by, but not by Joker, by Jim Gordon's gun.
They faked the forensic report. I don't understand how that happened.
I don't know.
Tommy Elliott. He's just that good. He's just that fucking good.
Yeah.
He's one step ahead. Bruce should be thinking like his enemies.
They do. So They mentioned that, like, oh yeah, Clayface was easy. He wanted money. Killer Croc wanted money. Joker, wanted revenge, and this Jason Todd thing. But it's just like, to what end? You spent millions and millions of dollars to do what exactly? Like, what was the goal here?
I don't know. I really don't know what the goal was.
It's the end of Burn After Reading.
Like, if your revenge was some shit with Bruce Wayne / Batman, whatever, like, he was basically paralyzed and you saved him. Like, what is your revenge here?
Yeah, what were you trying to do?
Could you have just killed him right there? That would have been fine.
No, but he's like, no, I wanted to cement myself as one of your cool rogues. I wanted to be in an Arkham Asylum video game in 7 years.
I have to cut his line so he almost dies. Then I have to save his life. Then I have to fake my own death. And then profit.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Like,
so simple.
So simple. Anyways, Gordon and Harvey show up, and Harvey shoots Tommy. He falls into the water, and Batman dives in after him. He's like, oh, I have to know. Is that really him? Gordon's like, tells Harvey to hand him the gun. He's like, sure, it's your gun anyways. And hey, the first time I shot him, I was Clayface. So this is really my first time shooting him. So just for the record. Then we get Huntress and Catwoman on the roof. Doing what? I didn't write anything about that scene other than that it happened.
Yeah, explaining that Huntress was, I guess, paid by Tommy Elliott and something, which is like, why? Again, you're spending money to upgrade Huntress's gear. Literally, all she did was find Batman. What? I don't understand why is that part of the plan? Doesn't make any sense.
Got to get Huntress in there now.
We got to give her a much worse costume.
Batman. Okay, I did kind of like this pseudo explanation that this device that they put in the Bat computer was also. I don't actually like it. It was subliminally putting pictures of Tommy Elliott on the Bat screen, like every now and then, so the Batman would be thinking about Tommy Elliott to the point that he would Morse code him when he was knocked unconscious. Okay.
That is some just really bad writing.
He also brings in Superman to help. And he was like, hey, Superman, use your X-ray on my head. You see anything? He's like, yeah, there's some like a tiny little device at the base of your skull. He's like, okay, can you burn it with your eye lasers, please?
I thought that was cool.
No need to go, like, you don't have to go through the skin or anything. Just directly only burn that.
Look, it wasn't enough for, like, the internet fandom to be like, but isn't there probably something that, like, Tommy Elliott, if he did that to the computer, did he put anything in Batman's head when he did surgery? It's like, yeah, we're closing that loose end. It's done. Yeah. Shut up.
What was that device meant to do to him in his head?
Just track.
Subliminally make him think about Tommy Elliott and how handsome he is.
No, that was we don't know. We don't know. But that's how good Tommy Elliott was, and we'll never know.
But maybe that's why he was in love with Catwoman.
Oh shit! No, well, Catwoman is mad at him later, isn't she? Because she's like, I only fell in love with you because Tommy Elliott wanted me to manipulate you or some shit. Doesn't she say that? But the feelings were real.
No, Batman thinks that could be true, and then she's like, hush, Batman. And he's like, why would you say that?
That's right.
And she goes, oh, you don't trust me. I'm getting out of here. Yeah. Relationships are built on trust and not saying the name of your boyfriend's current supervillain.
That's right.
Yep.
Batman. All right.
George.
So Batman goes to the Riddler.
What? Why would you say George? He's my nemesis. If my girlfriend said nemesis, or my nemesis name George, I'd be so upset.
So Batman goes to the Riddler because I guess he's realized the Riddler was the one behind everything.
What a fucking stupid double.
Okay.
Yep.
So I thought
not
we were
even
done.
Hush's plan.
It's not even Hush's plan. I kind of did like that. The part where Batman told him, like, hey, by the way, like, the whole League of Assassins is kind of pissed at you for fucking up that Lazarus pit. So, watch your back, man.
Yeah, because Riddler was like, I'm a fucking joke. Like, everybody else is, like, so much cooler than me now. And it's got, like, so much more powerful or so much more interesting. And I'm just, like, a joke and I'm lame and I don't have a gimmick. So, like, I wanted to, like, be cooler and, like, up myself in, like, the standings. And then that really was cool because Batman's like, yeah, well, you just made an enemy of the League of Assassins. So good fucking luck with that, man. I'm like, yeah, this is good. This is really good. But this is like a triple blind, like, Because like when we talked about this, like when we talked last episode, it was like because I'd never read this, but I knew that the villain was actually Clayface. It wasn't actually Jason Todd back from the dead. I did not realize that the Riddler was behind this. On top of that.
Yeah.
So Clayface was working for Tommy Elliott, which I didn't realize, and then Tommy Elliott was working for the Riddler.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why?
And the Riddler spent millions of dollars to make this happen.
Yeah.
Although he could have just stolen one garbage
money.
truck. He could have stolen just one garbage truck, and he would have paid for the whole thing. So, $11 million.
Is there anything else to mention? There's a little aftermath where Batman is still looking for Hush. He dives into the water, finds evidence that he survived, and we see that when Hush came up out of the water, Joker and Harley were there waiting for him. Ooh, I don't care. I really don't care. I think we're done. This was stupid. Vince, we've talked plenty. We'll let you go, and then I think Chris will have a lot of. Chris will have a lot to say.
So I like the first half of this better than the second half of it. It's very stupid. It's of the 3 like year-long Batman Jeff Loeb books we've read: Dark Victory, Long Halloween, and this. This is by far the worst. I think I like Dark Victory more, but I like the mafioso stuff more. I think like at the core problem is this book is called Batman Hush, and the word hush is not really mentioned for the first half of it at all. And then Hush is not really established as like a mastermind villain at all. And then once he's like revealed, you get like a double blind, like within one issue is like they don't seed enough. Like, is Jason Todd pulling the strings like that? I mean, the idea that Jason Todd exists is seeded, but not that Jason Todd is pulling the strings possibly. Like, that's not throughout the whole book. And then, so like the mystery isn't satisfying because it feels like all of this Hush shit was just like in the last 3 issues, and it was very boom, boom, boom. Like, actually, Jason Todd's back from the dead. Let's fight. Actually, it wasn't even Jason Todd. It was Clayface. But Clayface was working for the guy who died 4 issues ago. But that guy was actually working for the Riddler. And it's like, this was all in like a 3-issue span. And it's like, this is too much. And they could have been like spaced out to be like a satisfying mystery of like, who is Hush? We think it's Jason Todd. That could, you know... And then like they pull the rug out so you don't have to actually revive Jason Todd. It's just like it's like deeply unsatisfying to me, and on top of being dumb, and I'm very confused by like the twists on twists. It's just like this is unnecessary, and makes it more convoluted, but doesn't like help the story or make it more interesting.
Yeah, and I guess of course I'll let you go here, but just like to piggyback off some the all the strings, like the pulling the strings, none of the strings had fucking anything to do with anything. You know, it's like, oh, I pulled his strings so that he'd do this and go rob a thing. Like it's so loosely connected to anything that it's, I don't know. All right, Chris, you go.
No, I mean, we've already kind of touched on it. I think this book is really, I mean, the art is pretty, but it doesn't make any sense at all. Like, they're like, oh, I've been up 56 hours, and they're like months later, we cut to, it's just like, why are we still doing this? Like, there's no plan. There's no, like, nothing makes any sense. And it's so obvious that there was no plan. It seems like that they wanted it to be Jason Todd and chickened out. That either he would be Tommy Elliott's, like the guy who set this up, which would make some sense, or because he would know, you know, that Bruce Wayne is Batman and blah, 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 and then it could be Tommy Elliott's money or whatever, but that it's Tommy Elliott for no reason getting revenge on Batman because of the Riddler. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It's just a collection of supervillains. It's Jim Lee redesigning things mostly poorly. I like the throwaway line like, oh yeah, we said that we needed a cure for Killer Croc, but we poisoned him. He'll be back to normal next time you see him. Wrong. He's gonna be like bigger and bigger every time you see him from now on. But yeah, it's like, as a story, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. People are like, oh, this is like a well-written like version of Batman, but it's like a parody of a well-written version of Batman, where he's like, oh, he always has a plan. He's 3 steps ahead. But it's literally just the writer being like, I meant for that to happen. Actually, that's exactly the thing that I thought you would do because I knew it. even if it doesn't make any sense. And like they try to seed, they're like, could Harvey Dent be Hush? Could Jim Gordon be Hush? And it's like, no, we know it's not them. It's a mystery where there's really only two people it could be, and it ends up being one of them. And then again, because the internet all thought it was going to be the other one, and it's a mess. It's a fun mess to talk about, I think, and it looks good. I mean, Jim Lee finds every opportunity. He has Catwoman fight Huntress, Lady Shiva. There's any opportunity we can have incredibly hot women just like in a cat fight, no pun intended, I guess, where you're just like, okay, this is doing it for someone.
For someone. Yeah, I got nothing else to say about it beyond I think what y'all already said.
Hey, y'all want to hear something stupid? I don't understand how we're like always like on the cutting edge of these kind of things. But in less than 2 months, in March, Jim Lee and Jeff Loeb are reuniting for Batman Hush 2, but it's written as Batman H2SH is how it's officially branded. It's a 6-issue series running through Batman 158 through 163. So if you want to continue the saga of Batman Hush, Hush 2 is coming out in a month or 2 months.
I hope Jeff Loeb has not read a single Hush story since then. The part where he has Bruce Wayne's face, any of the other things that Hush...
goddamn to you, it will not acknowledge any of those stories.
I feel like the 2 should have been the S instead of the U. I don't like the U as the 2. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Also, it makes it like water, like
H2. Yeah. Yeah.
Hydrogen, 2 hydrogen, and whatever is
sulfur and another hydrogen.
Sulfur, yeah. That's how it goes. Yeah, I think we're done with this. Excited to read Hush 2, I guess. Can't wait for that. Can we go on to Thunderbolts?
Yes.
Are we done? All right, on to Thunderbolts here. So we're on Thunderbolts number 12 here, the end of the first big storyline. What's been going on here? The Thunderbolts have been outed by themselves. Zemo added them. He's ready to move on their plan. He's mind controlled a big old chunk of the world, taking control of the governments through the militaries. Most of the original Thunderbolts are fighting back. The only ones he's got working for him are Atlas and Techno. And now the Avengers and the Fantastic Four are back from the whole Onslaught being dead thing, and they're coming up to the spaceship in the sky, but we just found out that Zemo has mind-controlled them too. So we got our few remaining Thunderbolts versus basically everybody. Is that all the recap we need? I think that's it. Zemo's kind of standing in the room talking to these renegade Thunderbolts, and he's gloating about how he's going to take over the world and kill them all one at a time. He's like, I think I'm going to start with Jolt. You're the most annoying one. He puts a gun up to her head. And Atlas is like, he finally kind of breaks out. He's like, no, I'm not going to let you do that. And he attacks. And they kind of ask him like, hey, what was with the change of heart? I don't know. It does make sense. Later, he's like, I couldn't, she reminded him of his little sister who he let die. So he didn't want to let her die too.
Right. I mean, yeah, it's like Zemo is immediately like, well, I'm going to shoot a child. That's step one.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And Atlas is like, oh, no, children. That reminds me of another child I knew.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That's exactly. I mean, it makes sense. So they all start running in the chaos, kind of bursting down the walls of the ship so people can't follow. They do have a little fight scene with the speedsters, Human Torch and Quicksilver, who were able to kind of catch up to them. But they're not really operating at full strength because they're under mind control, so they're kind of like limited a little bit. But they managed to make it to one of the Avengers' Quinjets, and they fly out of there. Techno's really gone power crazy. He can turn any part of this big old space station into his face, and he's gloating like, yeah, where y'all going? You can't even go back to Earth. We control it. Y'all fucked. Haha, bye. So they're flying around in this Quinjet, trying to figure out what to do. They make it to some Avengers station, No, it's like a weather station. It's like a big old satellite in the sky. It's some station where they're going to go check.
Some space station that's kind of abandoned, kind of not.
Yeah. And so they're trying to figure out what to do. And Jolt like, what do you mean what to do? Yeah, we got to go after Zemo. And they're like, well, yeah, but that might be tough. We might die.
I mean, isn't it good enough that we just survived right now? Like, come on.
Yeah. But Jolt's like, well, we kind of have to. Like, what else are we going to do? And they're like, okay, I guess you're right. And Iron Man comes out. He's on there. He's on that satellite too. And he's like, I'm glad to hear you guys say that. And the Thunderbolts are like, oh my God, it's Iron Man. We got to fight him. So they try to do some fighting, but Meteorite stops it. She is like, okay, this guy's clearly not under Zemo's mind control. And he's like, yeah, I've got some safeguards in my suit. I was kind of going along with it with all the other heroes, so I wouldn't give things away. But I followed y'all when y'all snuck away because, it just seemed like something was up. So, yeah, they're like basically friends now. They're going to work together to fight Zemo. Iron Man's still kind of wary of them because they're all villains, but they're hanging out. They're doing some engineering stuff together. Him and Mach 1. He's like, "Hey, you're pretty good at this."
He was also really rude to them. He's just like, "You guys stink. You're a bunch of two-bit." Like, I'm sorry, didn't they blow up Avengers Mansion?
Yeah.
And just yesterday, like, in this storyline, blew up the Fantastic Four's base too. So you're like, Songbird, she sucks. You're like, give her a break.
So everyone's kind of has their scenes thinking about what's going on. Jolt is like, God, am I like just trying to rehab them to prove that I wasn't wrong about them being good, or is it just because I got nowhere to go? Good stuff like that. Meteorite gets a fresh change of clothes, slightly new costume, re-ups herself a little. Zemo is gloating at this like mind-controlled Captain America, being like, I'm so glad I moved past you. I wasn't like obsessed with a revenge for you for killing my dad anymore. I kind of accepted my dad killed himself. And I just decided I'll take over the world instead of worrying about you so much. And look at that. In the process of taking over the world, I've got you now. Hooray. So let's throw you in the airlock and shoot you out into space. How about that? And then as he's doing that, he sees this Quinjet coming back. He's like, what the fuck? And it crashes right into their ship. We get another nice big fight scene. It does seem like they do they like free them all of the mind control right then and there as they come in? Is that what happens?
Yeah, they like set something off that jams it.
But at the same time, they're still like it's hard to. They're still fighting against them because they know that they're bad guys anyways, So the mind control didn't exactly stop the fighting necessarily.
Right, which makes it kind of feel like because this resolves so quickly, like it doesn't seem like I probably in an edit would have taken this out. I don't think the mind control is necessarily necessary.
I agree. Yeah, I don't know. Mind control is a little.
If Zemo doesn't reveal himself, then you could do this plot a little easier, with just having the Avengers teaming up with Zemo against I didn't even realize I had supervillains on my team, and then you'd achieve the same goal.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But it's it's a lot of fighting here. Iron Man still for some reason doesn't want to reveal that he knows that these other Thunderbolts are good. But he keeps trying to kind of subvert the team into not fighting them. He's like, team, hey, come over here and help me with these robots instead. And he's like, oh, sorry, Cap, I accidentally shot you with a stray laser. Uh-oh. Let's see. The fight goes pretty well. Basically, they win, right? Meteorite has a nice scene kind of going after Zemo and really beating the crap out of him, talking shit, talking about basically the whole thing. Like, who cares about trying to run the world? Who wants to do that much fucking work?
Well, and
she's right.
Everything that I said in the last issue, Meteorite says it's like, why did we do this now? Like, you could have just held on to this scam for fucking ever and just kept skimming off the top, and we would have been great. The first chance you got, you blew our cover. For what? So we could take over the world? That's a lot of work, as we've learned from Emperor Doom and a few other stories. This is bullshit. We could have just been a little oligarchy kleptocracy and just took money from the Avengers. And
they could have been, just successful millionaire superheroes.
We could have done this. The boys don't do any shit. They don't do any helping any people. Like, we could have done that. It would have been, or the government, typical. But yeah, like, I love that whole scene with Meteorite. Like, it's such a good scene for her.
Yeah, I Meteorite is really the MVP of this issue because she has this scene with Zemo and then the next scene with Techno.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Where Techno's trying to like get in her head and shit, and she's like, no. Listen, you've got all this power and shit, but like you're never gonna feel a woman's touch again. And he's like, I can fucking make anything I want. Like it's not gonna be real though. Come on. It really distracts him so that the heroes can get the upper hand. And the fight's pretty much coming to a close here. What happens at the end? Zemo says, Atlas, you owe me, Justin. Get me in that escape pod. We're getting out of here. And he's like, all right, now get in here with me. And he says, no. You saved my life. I saved yours. We're done. And he closes the escape pod, ejects it out of there. And he sees Techno's face kind of flash on the escape pod. So he he basically sent Techno and Zemo out into wherever they're free, and the rest of the Thunderbolts are still there. The fighting is over. The Avengers and the Fantastic Four are like, okay, so what do we do with these folks? And they just fucking blew up 4 Freedoms Plaza. They're definitely bad guys. Captain America was like, nah, we're gonna try them via the judicial system. We'll do it like normal. And they ask, are y'all willing to, stand trial and come peacefully? And Meteorite says, we won't resist. We appreciate your fairness. And then a weird mystery light shows up and they all disappear. And that's it. And
no, it says it's not. God. It says it ain't over yet. Is that what it says?
Oh, it does say it ain't over yet, yeah.
Didn't I keep telling you?
Mm-hmm. Wasp is like, oh, God, we let them escape. And Hawkeye's like, that didn't look like an escape. I think they were kind of as surprised as us. So we don't know where they're at. Where are they? Who knows? We'll have to find out next time.
What?
We got a
but we're done, right? Status quo. This is we're done with our long read, right?
This was the first 12 issues, but we thought we'd keep this long read going. Surprise! Is this our longest long read?
No, Nightfall was like 19 issues.
Oh yeah, you're right. Never mind. Who knows? Who knows how far we'll go with this? So we are going to keep going a little bit more with the Thunderbolts. Who knows how long? But we're going to continue the long read. We're going to do number 13 next time. We're going to see where they show up. We're going to see how they continue a life without Zemo. I don't remember what Zemo's even up to after this. But we'll get to all that.
It looks like they're going to be down and out in a world not their own.
Oh, is that what it says?
Yeah. Marvel's Most Wanted. Ooh, that is a good. I was like, where do you go from here? Now we're on the run. We're on the lam. Ooh, that's good.
Mm-hmm. Marvel's
I'm sounding sarcastic. No, I'm actually this is pretty good.
Yeah, but that's that.
I was hoping for a lengthy trial.
With She-Hulk.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. But no, that's the end of the first 12 here. I think it is a good kind of, wraps up the first main, try to take over the world, and then set up the new status quo kind of thing story. Yeah, Vince, I guess we'll go back to you.
I like it. I think having the Avengers there in this issue kind of muddies things. I wouldn't on another pass. I wouldn't have them as involved. I think it's a good. You have enough characters as it is. That are good and well established. I think, overall, I think it's been a real good, satisfying year of stories. I think there probably could have been a little bit more meat, but it's such a good goddamn concept. And I think that, we were talking about this, if this had been done during the blip between Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, this had come out as a TV series or one of the Marvel movies, of the heroes of these Thunderbolts trying to help, I think that would have been just this huge missed opportunity. They didn't do this, and then but it's good. And I'm actually the way these letters and the editor comments it, I'm kind of sad that I missed out on the internet discourse of this, because I feel like this would have been a real good book to read an issue and then go on the internet and chat about it from month to month in a way that I used to do with Young Avengers and Civil War and those kind of things. I feel like this would have been a really good book, and I'm kind of sad I missed that discourse.
Yeah, I mean, this would have been 1998, so this would have been very early
right
in internet discourse.
I don't know, was it being talked about in Wizard magazine? Were you talking about it at your comic book store, Chris? Because because it feels like we fucked up. Like, were they just getting letters like on that thing where they accidentally like labeled the characters wrong? Like, it seems like they have like the editor's notes have like a touch and go with the fans, like directly interacting with them, which is very
I think
to me.
they were probably just getting a lot more feedback than usual because this was like a book that it wasn't like selling a gazillion copies or anything, but it was selling much better than most like new books with like completely unknown characters. It was like, oh, we actually do know these characters.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's been a good time. I'm and they did a good job. I was like, I don't know, do we really want to read like issue 13? And like where did they go? And now it's called Marvel's Most Wanted. Is like they're instead of like Justice Like Lightning. Like I'm on board. Let's go read some more.
Chris?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of fun. I always like a mind control, everyone has to fight everyone kind of storyline. I thought it was interesting that for once Iron Man wasn't mind controlled, which was fun. Because we read that Avengers series not that long ago where they tried to get him out of the Morgan Le Fay mind control, and they can't. He's like still mind controlled even after everyone else snaps out of it. So it was nice that he actually got to be heroic. But yeah, I really like I like how Meteorite is characterized. I think she's a very interesting character that doesn't get ruined until after the like Thunderbolts like New Avengers era. In another like 15 years from this. I think Jolt is great. I like the Songbird Mach 1 stuff. I do think Atlas has done pretty dirty the last like 2 or 3 issues. Like he's stupid, but like they make him so stupid for this storyline, which they have a good bunch of editors notes for the like Avengers books that came out in the 1960s. They're like, oh, remember when the Beetle beat Captain America? Remember when Egghead did something? But then they don't have a explanation of how Zemo pulled Atlas out of whatever dimension he was in the annual, because that's what he's talking about when he's like, we're even now, because it's like, well, he feels like he saved his life and so you can't screw him over. But like he comes off really badly in terms of like, weren't you dating someone? Like, didn't you like being a hero? And then he's just like, whatever you say, Zemo.
Yep. He kind of like I do agree. He's too stupid. And that's it. That's all I got to say. He's too stupid. Yeah, and I guess me now, it's good. I love this comic. I loved it back in the day. I will say I remembered liking the end of the first 12 kind of more back when I read them the first time. This time I was just kind of like, oh, is that it? Okay, that's fine, I guess. We're still moving along, but overall, just kind of fun. It's you know what it is? It's this last issue, just too much big random fighting with too many random characters, which always loses my interest a little bit. But it's fun. And Zemo's out there. And that's it. I don't know.
It's a good if it was a TV show, it would have been a good season finale.
Yeah,
because it jumps like 3 new plot lines so that you wait over the summer to be like, summer. I dated myself over the hiatus between seasons to be like, what's going to happen with these characters? But I know like a germ of an idea that like Zemo's going to be somewhere, and then these guys are going to be somewhere else, but we don't know where. And are they going to get back together? Who knows? So I like it.
So that's it. Yep. But I think that we are done for now then. We talked about, we're going to continue this next time. We didn't talk about our main read next time. We kind of talked about it a little bit. We brought it up here. It's The Death of Elektra. Woo! Stabber. Frank Miller wrote this in 1982. This is issues 178 through 182. I think we probably could have read like more issues for this, but we're just getting to the good stuff. 178 through 182, 5 issues, all written and drawn by Frank Miller. Inks by Klaus Janson. I think there's one issue that he kind of helped do the drawing on. Some Frank Miller, Elektra, Daredevil, and Thunderbolts number 13.
That'll be fun. It's always like, I mean, we've talked about it, it's always referenced The Death of Elektra, but I've only read it once.
I've never read it.
The whole Elektra saga is pretty quick. Like, she's introduced like in issue 168 and she's dead by issue 181. So she's like around for like 14, 15 issues before she dies. It's pretty crazy how fast it happens. So.
Cool. What else to talk about? I think we're wrapping up. Chris, what is the Your Stupid Minds podcast up to?
Your Stupid Minds. We are back from the holiday break. We will have an episode coming the week after, or I guess the same week as this, but I don't know what it is yet. But in the meantime, you can check out Gunner, a very low budget movie with Morgan Freeman that came out in 2024 that we talk all about. It has a Hemsworth brother you probably never heard of starring in it, hiding his Australian accent.
How many are there? How many Hemsworths?
I don't know how many there are total. This is a third one that's not one of the two that I've seen in movies before.
He's Luke Hemsworth.
Yeah, it's not Liam or Chris.
Luke Hemsworth. Got it. Cool. Vince, what are you up to?
I'm absolutely up to nothing. Just, getting the school year started for the kids. Trying to stay warm. It's supposedly going to snow in San Antonio this week, so we'll find out. But other than that, nothing else going on. Kia, what's going on with you?
Nothing. I'm just playing a lot of UFO 50 right now. I love that game.
Oh, nice.
I've been playing. That's the main thing I'm playing these days, actually. Some camouflage, some puzzle games, some shmups, some RPGs, a little bit of everything. If you like games, check out UFO 50.
There's 50 of them.
There's 50 of them, and they're like, have you all played this?
No, but I have a buddy who's like loves them.
They're so simple and like just fucking magical. House Party. I love this house party. Maybe it's called Party House. I don't know. It's great. Check it out. That's it. I think we're wrapping it up. Vince, I love you.
Love you too, buddy.
Chris, I love you.
Hush, Wait, why would I say that?
Don't be saying that to us. Come on.
Hey.
Has this been fake the whole time, Chris? That you actually were part of this podcast?
No, it's all been a manipulation. I was paid millions of dollars to pretend to podcast with you.
Oh my God.
Well, that's probably a good deal. I would have taken that money too.
Yeah. In hindsight, it seems like a pretty bad plan.
Yeah,
the real podcast was the money we were paid along the way.
All right, listener, we love you as well. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see y'all next time. Bye.